As was reported, and we wanted to talk about this and go into a few scriptures concerning this, the president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, have been assassinated, according to the reports. It's hard to believe. Really, you can't believe any reports. You don't know what to believe these days. So much disinformation is out there. But all in all, regardless of the reporting, the America and the Western world and the EU, along with Israel, are going along with the transition. The question is, what does this mean according to prophecies? And what must we be looking for? And how does this impact us according to prophecy and according to the Bible? Of course, the Bible spoke of these things, that the powers that are in control, the Most High will allow them to operate until they be taken out of the way. There's really not much we can do against them as of now. At our present time. Okay? There's not much we can do against them, and neither would we attempt to get in their way. They're doing the will of their Father. But let's talk about this Gaddafi assassination, okay? And what this means for all of us. Obviously, there's an orchestrated effort towards taking Africa. Most people don't know, but Muammar Gaddafi had the jewel of Africa in North Africa, and Libya is a part of Africa. Now Barack Obama is in Uganda and going into different parts of Africa, claiming it's for humanitarian reasons and to take over dictatorship. But we mentioned a long time ago that Barack Obama was the shield or the face of the New World Order that will allow Africa to open themselves up for more rape and destruction from the Western world. And we're at the tail end of Jacob's trouble. Okay? This trouble is aimed towards us, but the Most High will save us out of this. And I would like to speak about that also. But let's speak of how this affects those who are in America right now and how this would immediately affect them. Okay? Now, so that we can get a beginning on how this all started. How this thing all started, we call this new world living in terror. That's the narrative. Through terrorism, the powers that be believe that in order to maintain any level of civility, there must be a eugenics or destruction of many people, and a new world order must be set up within the earth. This is what those that are under Satan, the Masons who are under Satan, believe and are building within our society. So they started off with the narrative of terrorism. It started off with Osama bin Laden, which none of us knew existed before the Western world rolled him out, right before the attacks in September 11, 2011. There was one guy who was putting it out there that America was going to use bin Laden as a pretext for war, and that war would lead to much destruction through the Middle East, leading into Africa, and the final blow to the world as we know it, bringing all the earth under a one world order in which everyone will be under a monetary system in which you must be chipped to live within this society. Aaron Russo brought that out. So it started off with the boogeyman of bin Laden, but we all know according to the Western world government propaganda, which we, first of all, George Bush's family dealt with the bin Ladens for years in the oil business, and bin Laden was a CIA asset. This is what they haven't told the people. Okay. The second thing is, on 9/11, they were doing drills the same time coming out of Canada that actually distorted the reaction towards these so-called planes in the air. And of course, you had the implosion of the Twin Towers, in which George Bush said that he want bin Laden dead or alive, and that began America going into Iraq, which had nothing to do with the Twin Towers. Neither did bin Laden, but it didn't stop America in the Western world from hunting down Saddam Hussein, killing his children, and killing him before he can talk about his relations with the Western world and spill the beans on what was really happening from a geopolitical standpoint. So they killed Saddam Hussein, who was their asset against Iran. Then they killed Osama bin Laden, which was their asset for years within the Middle East, to topple other regimes and bring in terrorism activity within the Middle East. These are all American and Western world assets. And now, not too long ago, Muammar Gaddafi signed an agreement with the Western world and was willing to stop building his arms, and had a treaty within the Western world with the President of France, with Tony Blair, with those of the Western world, even Barack Obama. But yet they double-crossed him, and now they claim after he's dead that they will lay him to rest at sea. Now, going back to what impact this have on us, and how this will directly affect the children of Israel and those who believe. First off, brothers and sisters everywhere, we need to pray for, Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, while I may not agree with his form of doctrine, religious-wise, I do believe he knows the truth, number one, and I do believe that he's a courageous man that's willing to put his life on the line for the truth. And because of this, we need to pray for him, because in the midst of your 9/11 rhetoric that led to drumming up a war against the Middle Easterns, we all know who are in the light that these wars are really aimed towards destroying Jacob. They're aimed towards us. And there's a loophole in the Patriot Act which says that if you are connected to any terrorism activity according to what they have drafted, and of course there's a gray line, or what you would call a level of skewing in the words, because they can just name anyone a terrorist based on their interpretation or definition. But if you found supporting a terrorist or in league with terrorist activity, under the Patriot Act, they could come against you. They could seize your assets, they can destroy you, and they can take everything you have and even try you for treason. Now, you couple that with the law that Barack Obama have put in place. He signed that you can kill American citizens even outside the border under the acts of terrorism. So you put those two laws together between George Bush and Barack Obama, and what we have here is a threat towards anyone who's willing to speak the truth. Farrakhan went on record with Muammar Gaddafi while America was trying to hunt him down, while originally when America was just wanting Gaddafi to step down. Farrakhan went on record to defend him and to mention all the great things he have done, not just for Africa, but for his organization, the Nation of Islam. And through that, America, under the Patriot Act, can use his words as him harboring or in league with a terrorist. So through this, we got to pray for this brother, because they're going to start going against leaders such as Farrakhan, and not just Farrakhan. There's another leader that I want to go into, and I'm going to show you that the Most High have set these brothers up to some degree, but then again, I don't agree with their doctrine, but still they are brothers, and as long as they have breath in them, we can pray for them and wish that no harm come against them, so that one day they can bring their ingenuity, their mindset, and their nation building skills to help us if need be, if the Most High put the Spirit in them. Another brother that I feel that's going to be that we have to look out for and really think about is the brother Ben Ami, who's in Dimona. Now, while I don't agree with what he's saying, and I don't agree with him claiming that he's the Messiah, of course he's going off, and we're going to go into the scriptures on that. All in all, his activity in migrating brothers and sisters there during the 80s and 90s allowed Israel to build a shield, use our people as a human shield for their Dimona nuclear plant in Dimona, Israel. So there's a nuclear plant right there next to Dimona, right next to Ben Ami and the brothers and sisters there. And when this war break out, and it soon will break out, that's going to be one of the major targets, and our people are right there next to that particular threat. Now, I want you to read this, lawyer. It's a document that we have, but I'll make sure the brothers and sisters get this information. This is titled, "Is the Israeli Dimona nuclear reactor a disaster waiting to happen?" And I need you to read this. This journalist wrote this. Read this.
It says, folks, I am really worried about this.
It says, folks, I'm really worried about this.
Okay. I know that Israel is a mostly desert, but don't you think that keeping a live nuclear reactor, just a bunch of people prohibiting anyone to inspect that 50-year-old plutonium death trap?
He says that he's concerned that you have a nuclear reactor, and there's people next to this nuclear reactor now. These are our people next to this nuclear reactor in Israel. And this particular nuclear plant was one of the first plants built during the nuclear structures. And for years, Israel have prohibited inspectors to come and inspect these particular nuclear reactors, which may leak and don't have the technology as those that are being built today. So he's afraid that after 50 years, that's a plutonium trap. Read.
This is a quote, the large quantity of the nuclear waste collected in the last decades may cause a wide-scale disaster whose effect would reach way beyond the Negev region in case of a mishap or earthquake.
He says in case of a mishap or earthquake, and then a bomb can be a mishap, especially coming from Syria or Israel. And Israel is targeting Iran's nuclear plants and nuclear activity. So what do you think Syria and Iran will be targeted? Read.
Should there be a nuclear leak, it may poison our water sources and soil for hundreds and thousands of years.
It said could poison our water sources and soil for hundreds of thousands of years. Now we know according to Christ, when Christ returns, he's going to make all things new, and through fire he will purge the earth. So I'm really not concerned with what the scientists say on this side, because fire purges. And I know that Yeshua is coming with enough fire to purge. But all in all, the initial reaction to those in that area will be grave. Read.
The reactor is old and safety measures are unknown to us.
Safety measures are unknown. As a matter of fact, Israel for years have not agreed with the nuclear proliferation agreement, even though they were behind drafting it under the UN. So they're the only people that really don't have no inspections or have to bring forth what type of nuclear capability is within Israel. But everyone else, Iran and everyone else, have to be straightforward and allow inspectors to come within their country to see what they have. Read.
Even a mini Chernobyl disaster as a result of human error or the reactor's age could make Israel unfit for human life.
It can make Israel unfit for human life. Now, you think Israel didn't know exactly what landmass to give our people when Ben-Ami went into Israel and claimed that he was coming back to the chosen land? It was no coincidence, and they saw this as an opportunity. Okay, if Israel is building a nuclear reactor in the middle of the desert with no human activity, of course, people would be suspect, wondering what's going on in Israel. But the same time Israel was trying to cover their nuclear plant, you had our people saying they want land and they wanted to come back to Israel. So of course, they allowed them to have this land. As an agreement to this, the brother had to agree that the children within his community would join their armies and join their forces against the world. And then on top of that, if anything happens, these people will be the first people wiped out from a major catastrophe, whether it be Chernobyl or someone hitting a Chernobyl type activity or someone hitting the nuclear reactor altogether. So this is what's going on in this earth. Now, some people might ask, well, what can I do? There's no place safe. Everything is being turned up. Everything is being tore down. The same time that they report they killed somebody one day, Muammar Gaddafi one day, and then say they went into Uganda the day after that, before that. Then the same day that they killed Muammar Gaddafi, they said, well, okay, we're going to pull the troops back home. Oh, yeah, I wonder why. Or maybe because there's some planned, what you would call Occupy the America going on all through the America, in which troops will need to occupy America along with NATO. So these things are going on too, in which these attacks against people, against our people, is happening worldwide. Now, there's other things I wanted to go into, but I want to talk about the scriptures real quick and how this have an impact on us. Let's go to the word terror. I need you to read the word terror in your Strong's Concordance and give me the meaning of the word terror. Now, mind you, all this is happening under the so-called cloak of terrorism. Everything you see. And you're going to find, brothers and sisters, ultimately this means focusing. They're going to focus this continually on us. You think that it's for the world, but it's really, like we said years ago on those streets, they're going to aim that terrorism towards us. Okay? And they use the underwear bomber to shape new terrorists, because the old terrorists are dead. Anwar al-Awlaki, he's gone. Osama bin Laden, gone. Okay, all the Arab terrorists are finished now. Now the narrative have been switched to black people and white people with guns. So now they're going to, and on top of that, they have drones now. Now drones were used only through the CIA overseas. That was their excuse for having drones. But now that they have locked down the Middle East and have put in their regimes and are aiming towards Africa, they're now using those same drones and transfer them to the borders of America, which means soon Homeland Security will have drones destroying our people. So the question is, who is the terrorist? So a lot of prayer must happen, and not to be afraid. We're not going to be scared through this, because this is the will of the Most High. Things must happen. The earth must be purged of sin. Okay? And believe me, the earth, the Most High is allowing this to happen because of the high level of immorality throughout the whole earth. So Satan have demoralized the earth through unbelief, through atheist teaching, through Darwinism, through pornography, and through all different acts of portraying sin through media that will allow our people and people abroad to become desensitized to truth and not understand where the line is. And because of this, now the earth is in a demoralized state. Satan is like, now, let's get them now. Okay? This is the prime opportunity to grab souls to hell, right now. Okay? So the focus right now is that now the earth has been demoralized and people don't know up from down, left from right. It's time for Satan to strike. Now he's going around the whole earth, taken down, because no one is coming back to the Most High and no one is accepting truth. There will be a small remnant in this earth who will make it through, that will fight through this, and that will make it through this. And we just hope that we are part of that small remnant. Give me the definition of terror.
This is H 1091.
H 1091, go ahead.
It says alarm, hence destruction, terror, trouble.
It's alarm, hence terror, trouble. It's an alarm. So when they came up with the word terrorism, you have to realize the terrorism is actually coming from the government itself. Okay? There's no people thinking about strapping bombs to them. There's no people dealing with people. Let me tell you, I'm going to be straight with you. If anyone out there tried to buy material to make something explosive, the government would know it before it's over, well before you get a chance to put it together, because there's certain elements that you would need, and only certain people who sell certain elements within this earth to make such weapons. Okay? So anything you hear of terrorism links directly back to government, who really blow things up or try to get someone to blow something up so that they can have a narrative and an excuse to go against God's people. Let's go to the book of Job. Read Job.
Job chapter 18 verse 11.
Chapter 18 verse 11. Read.
Terrors shall make him afraid on every side.
Terror shall make him afraid on every side. Read.
And shall drive him to his feet.
And shall drive him to his feet. To let you know, people are going to be running through terrorism. They're going to be running through terrorism. Now you think that the terrorism, you're looking for an Arab. Okay? When an Arab is not thinking about you. Okay? It's not an Arab that are now having drones on the borders of Mexico, aiming towards holding God's people within those borders as they destroy our people like they did in ancient times during the time of Vespasian and his son Titus in 70 AD, destroying the children of Israel. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. They're putting a border around America to kill our people, knowing that we're in a time in which the Most High is freeing our people. What this is really about. So the terrorism that we see today is government sponsored, and it's a narrative that leads to an end. They have a complete plan under Satan to destroy our people. Okay, but they need these narratives so that they can have the lawful will to do murder. Let's get the next one on terrorism real quick. I need you to go, let's go to Matthew 24, where it says if they say that Christ is in a desert. Let's get that in Matthew 24. If they tell lo that Christ is here or Christ is there, don't go. I need you to read this real quick because this relates to our brother Ben Ami. Read.
St. Matthew chapter 24 verse 23.
Read.
Then, if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not.
If someone say, this man is Christ, and Christ is over here, or the Messiah is over here, believe it not. Now I'm going to tell you, brothers, and that's why we got to pray for this brother, because this brother is claiming that he is the Messiah. He's claiming he's the Messiah. And then, of course, Farrakhan don't come out and say it all the time, but he put it out there in his speeches that he is the one that would come after Elijah, the prophet. Okay? Now, those that understand what he's really saying here, we know that the one that came after Elijah, the prophet, is Christ. When you read Matthew, the 11th chapter, but what he's saying is he was set up after Elijah Muhammad, which means he is the Messiah. Okay, so we have to be careful with this and understand that our Messiah will come. This is not about no man that'll be in a position to be a Messiah. Of course, there's shepherds set up in the earth, but they are not the Messiah. Okay, now the best thing he could do right now through the Spirit of the Most High, if the Most High lead him, is to move his people outside the borders of Israel for a time. He have enough financial resources. I don't know how much he's vested in his current area, but if he can get out of there and lead his people to certain regions that will be safe for a time until the return of Christ, and that would be good for those people. Okay, but you have all these people who are saying that they are the Messiah. And the Most High says, Christ says, listen, don't believe them. Many shall come in my name saying I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Read.
Verse 24. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets.
There shall arise false Christ and false prophets. Read.
And shall show great signs and wonders.
And shall show great signs and wonders. I think one of the great signs that was shown originally is that Ben Ami was one of the first to actually leave the country and be established in Israel. That was a sign to others that there's life outside of our captive land, and that there is a way back, but it's not just yet. We can't build the kingdom within this earth right now. Something Christ is going to bring our kingdom. It's up to us to spread forth the gospel, let everyone know we're living in the time in which Christ would come, get our vessels together, get our garments clean, and be prepared for the wedding. And that's the only thing we can do as a people. And like it says in 2nd Esdras, be like pilgrims in that day. Be prepared to walk away, because the Most High is filtering us into certain areas. He's leading us out of our captivity by freeing our minds. He didn't give us this information to stay complacent and just sit and die like sitting ducks. Read.
And so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
And that tells us that the very elect cannot be deceived. If it was possible, the very elect would follow someone who claimed that they were the Messiah or claimed that they were Christ. Okay? We have to believe in the Savior. His name is Yeshua. We must believe he would come. There's no man on this earth that can save us. Not one man. Okay? We're saved through Christ's blood. And of course, I'm not going to diminish the works of these men, but when your works go into making you believe that you are the Messiah, then that's when you've stepped overboard. So this is to put it out there to say we got to pray for our brothers, not demean them or come down on them or say something evil against them, to say, listen, if we see something coming or some type of destruction that's coming, someone must blow the trumpet. So we're blowing the trumpet right now, because this is going to lead to them going against brothers within the United States and our people within the United States. Also, we got to pray for the sister Cynthia McKinney, who put her life and neck on the line against those diplomats and the lobbyists within Washington, D.C., who wanted to attack her because she felt that legislation should be towards the American citizens and her people, that her constituents, opposed to signing bills that allow Israel to get more rich, to allow power and legislative power to be handed to Israel. Okay? Israel shouldn't control another country. Okay? They're a new country themselves, if you want to call them that. Okay, so she fought against that, and I'm sure that they're going to go against all the black leaders and all the minority leaders. And they're going to try to go against Chavez, too. I need y'all to look at this and document this and understand what we're saying. They're going to go against Chavez. Okay, and the reason they're going to go against Chavez is because Chavez is in link with the president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. So, and Venezuela have nuclear power, nuclear capability. And they're going to go against Venezuela because Venezuela so happened to be sitting on a stockpile of oil. And it tell you that Asher's foot shall be dipped in oil in the scriptures, to show you that those people in Venezuela are from the tribe of Asher according to the Bible. Their feet shall be dipped in oil. So they're going to go against them, and it's going to be rough for America. For those that are out there occupying Wall Street and occupying different parts of the land, listen. it's not going to work, okay? If you haven't gotten anything out of America before the heist, forget about it. There's nothing left to get from that country, okay? That country has been taken, dejected, destroyed, taken down, and robbed, and the people that are controlling America do not live in America, okay? The controllers and the brain trust that controls the legislation and the military of America is offshore. They live in Europe. So you can forget about holding on to America. It's over. What you occupying? What you going to do? Who you going to go against? Okay? The people that are doing this are under Satan somewhere, living on their private islands, and have reaped the benefits already. The only thing they're wondering or trying to figure out, in which they have figured out already, is what to do with the human waste. This is how they're looking at our people. And too many of us are waking up. We're waking up to the vaccination program that they use to kill us. We're waking up to the abortion program that they use to downsize us. We're waking up to their military, that their military is not about defending a country, because America is one of the most defenseless countries in the world. They're vulnerable. It's about conquest, takedown, destruction, and building a construct under Satan. And judgment is coming soon that will soon lead the children of Israel back home. All right, so there's a few scriptures I wanted to get based on the fact that now they have taken down diplomatically parts of the Middle East, and they're going to aim the destruction now towards Africa. Much money was given to Barack Obama's campaign from African diplomats who thought that Barack Obama would make a change, that he would usher in a new era for people of color, becoming the first black president as we see it, and the leader of the free world. That will mean less oppression and more what you would call fortune for the African continent, being that Barack Obama was originally born in Africa and an African citizen. So you'll be surprised how much Muslim and African money went into Barack Obama. They figured he was the last hope. Okay, after the oppression of our people and what we've gone through, you would think that him being in that position, if he don't make it right and do what's right for our people, then there is no hope. And see, that's the reason they put him up in position, okay? And under Barack Obama, he have done more murder and destruction than George Bush could dream of, okay? Right now, Africa is going through a hard time, and soon they'll be, they're going to be killing our people. It's Jacob's trouble. And through this, our people will funnel themselves into the wilderness again. And it's coming. And it's a race, because Israel and America feel that right now China is a threat with their agreement they have with separate African countries. Right now, China is funneling a lot of money in Africa, but they're not raping and destroying Africa. They're agreeing to build Africa for a chance so that they can build and plant and get resources for their country. So the Western world don't want that. Look what happened with Muammar Gaddafi, who built his own roads and made Libya the crown jewel of Africa. Water, one of the greatest water irrigation systems in the earth that he did, and with his engineers. So they can't see us self-sustain and operate independent of the Western world. Also, Muammar Gaddafi was looking at making a united Africa like you have the United States and the United Unions of Europe. They can't have that, okay? They need starving people dying in Africa. That's what they need. They need the vaccination program to go out through Africa and exterminate these undesirables from the rich land of Africa, in which they believe resources belongs to them. And they put Barack Obama up to spearhead this campaign to destroy Africa. There's a lot of unreaped benefits, a lot of oil, a lot of diamonds, a lot of jewel, a lot of gold that's unreaped because Africa don't have the ingenuity or the machinery to reap the benefits of their own land. So the Western world just want these people to die off. They came up with the AIDS pandemic through the polio vaccines, and that didn't work. We survived the AIDS pandemic. Now they're going to use war. They're coming through, the NATO troops are coming through Africa now. So our brothers have to be careful, and we have to, in Africa, and prepare themselves for the spiritual battle as well as the physical battle that will come. Let's go into a few scriptures, because now we understand that geopolitically that China is now in Africa. And this is at the same time America and the Western world is looking to attack Iran. So China is there now. So the war is being what you would call, they're drumming up the war in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And let's get that in Joel, the 3rd chapter. They're drumming up this war that will that will culminate into a serious battle within the Middle East. Now, eventually, the powers that be will achieve their so-called goal for a short time. They will achieve it. They're going to bring forth the mark of the beast because the Bible said it. They're going to bring forth the chip. They're going to take money out of the system. They're going to do it, in which you cannot spend with paper money anymore, and eventually it will be an electronic system. Okay? Now, don't say that it can't get done. Okay? It was one time when, years back, when if you would have told people that they would be exchanging paper certificates with no value behind it, people would have looked at you like you were crazy. But that's what we're spending right now. So don't think that they can that they can't. They're going to transition this thing, and they got Facebook and all your social networks that are helping the next generation transition into accepting the mark of the beast. So we know those things have to happen first, globally. But it's not going to be the same for those in the American within American borders, and I'll tell you why. America have the so-called freedom that was given America is a threat to the New World Order. Okay, the freedom to have guns, the freedom to say what you want to say. You can't have a one world government and people can say what they want to say and can fight for their right to say it. So that freedom alone is a threat to the New World. So they have to get rid of America altogether to roll out this mark of the beast and have it become successful for a time. The ideas of America is against the New World Order. When I say the ideas, not that the so-called founding fathers were some righteous men, but they wanted to protect themselves at that time, knowing that they had people in slavery. Okay? So if these people decided to run off this plantation, we have a right to bear arms. Okay, but now that right doesn't mean anything to the New World Order because they have accomplished their deal. No longer are the Illuminist powers that are running the earth in America. They're outside of America, and they don't care if the people tear themselves apart now. Okay, they could care less. And they're not threatened by America having guns because they have raped America without guns through the monetary system. But the threat, the free ideas of thinking and speaking and saying what you want is a threat to this New World Order, along with the right to defend yourself. Okay, so they have to squash that idea, and that's the reason the spirit of terrorism have been now aimed towards America. That's why they've aimed it towards America now. And could lock you up indefinitely, could kill you. The cops are going wild. The policemen, I don't know whether or not they got them on drugs or what's the case, but the policemen are buck out of their mind, they're losing their mind, and they don't realize that they are part of the same population. It's like the powers, the Satanists, have found a way to take people from your population, from your family, and put a uniform on them and put them back in front of you to kill so you can fight each other. It's diabolical genius. how they came up with this, I'm going to take a percentage of the population and make them police and give them some authority that only we tell them they have to go and kill and beat and destroy their own people. And once they finish doing that and our people cannot fight anymore, we'll just do away with them because they're lunatics and they're out of their mind anyway. Anyone that will agree to kill their own people and to destroy their own population, eventually they'll turn on us. Let's get the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter and the 1st verse.
Joel chapter 3, verse 1.
Read it.
For behold, in those days and in that time,
Go ahead.
when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
At the same time, the Most High is beginning to wake our people up. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, we're not just waking up in America, okay? Our people in Africa are waking up. I'm seeing where Africans are actually speaking dialects of Hebrew now. Okay, our people over there in South America are waking up. Why? Because if they don't wake up and come together now, they know that they will be next. They're next. They are next, brothers and sisters. This is what I'm trying to relate to you. So now the Most High put a spirit on them to say, listen, we have to understand that if they can do this to innocent people who haven't done anything to America, what will they do to us next? America have used the drug cartels as an excuse to put guns, drones on the border that will eventually destroy the people. You think America care about Mexicans running over the line? They could care less about Mexicans running over the border. Come on, man. It's America that through the CIA and government that funds the drug trade. That's what they use to demoralize and take down the country. So they could care less about the drug trade. They need drugs to be illegal. So they can use that as a pretext to go against the population. If someone wants to do drugs, who cares? That's their life. If they want to kill and destroy their lives, who cares if that's what they want to do? How can you make that illegal when they're not affecting anyone else? But they make it illegal the same way they made alcohol illegal at one time so they can come against people through alcohol. This is what they do. They demoralize it, and then they use it as a pretext to fill the jail so you can work for free. So they could care less. They love Mexicans running through the border. They love it because that's an excuse to oppress the people within the country. Now they can shake anybody down, claiming that you may have been in connection with a Mexican or you may have been. This is what they need because their agenda is to destroy, to take down. And see, if you don't know history, brothers and sisters, you'll be doomed to repeat it. Once I understood history, I started to know that there's nothing new under the sun. These elites and these demons that are controlling this earth right now under Satan, under the prince of the powers of the air, let me tell you, he don't deal with a new blueprint. He pull out the same blueprint in every society, in every kingdom he ruled. He just used technology to do it with technology, but it's still the same platform. It's the same platform of ancient Babylon, Babylonian Assyrian, the Greeks. When you follow him through each empire, you realize he just pulled out the same bag of tricks with a new nation. Okay, so he's not doing anything new. Okay, the biggest weapon he have against our people is that back then we were aware of what was going on. We had some similitude of nationhood and understood who our God was. We don't have that no more. America don't even have a God itself. Every God that you know exists within America. It have to go. America don't even have a God. You tell me who's the God of America? When you have so many religions and ideologies within the country, and the people are confused and don't know what God is, who he is, whether or not he exists at all. And that was the plan of Satan. And eventually, it means the downfall of a country. When a country gets so demoralized, when you don't know the difference between male or female, we don't know the difference between right or wrong. When you question whether or not the God that created the universe exists, understand that every empire that came to those particular understandings fell. You think the EU and the powers that be know that America is not next? So now they've pulled all their resources so that this place could fall. Brothers and sisters, it's time to wake up and look at history. Look at history and read your Bibles. We are a part of biblical history. We're in some of the greatest times, the hardest times, the most troublesome times, but we're in the greatest time of all existence. We're in the time that the prophets and the teachers were waiting for. We're in the time of the coming of our Lord. So it's not all doom and gloom. But we need to tell you what you're going to go through, because you're going to go through it. We're not going to sit here and tell you to cover your eyes, to cover your ears, believe that it's going to be okay, that you're saved, that you're going to be floated into a cloud and raptured into a cloud out of this. No, we're going to tell you exactly what's going to happen so that you can prepare with us. Okay? Now, even if you're not in our presence, you can still prepare with us, even through prayer. Even through prayer, even through taking your resources and put it towards what you need to do, because soon your money will not be worth nothing. We're in this time, brothers and sisters, where what we do with our time now, we're going to wish we had that. And I'm putting that out there for you all. It's time for us to come together, and the Most High is actually letting these powers operate in this earth so we can come together. You're going to understand that the things we call issues and get mad about and get upset about and fight against each other about are not issues at all. We have more in common than we do fighting each other. So instead of looking at what divides us, we have to now go into the spirit of what brings us together and work out the other things as we go. Okay, it's not about this person know this and this person know that, and we arguing over little menial things while Satan is looking to destroy us all. Let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter, and read it again.
Joel chapter 3 verse 1.
Read.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
It says, he shall bring again the captivity of Jerusalem. And it's happening right now. Our people are waking up. Okay? And the Spirit is compelling us. I mean, we're going to have to get back out there. We have to sound a trumpet in certain areas and let people know. It's going to come a time that we can't be sitting back, because they're going to take a lot of this away from us. We're going to have to get in our people's face and say, listen, it's time. Read.
Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Now he's taking all nations and bringing them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And will lead them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
So now he have all armies, including the Chinese army, because they're there protecting their interest in Africa and parts of Pakistan. Their interest that they have with Iran, because they're Japheth. Read.
Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
They have scattered Israel, our people, all over the earth and parted our land. They took Israel from us. They took it from us. And you know what? I'm not going to say that, I'm not against them. I don't hate them. I don't wish anything ill to any of them that did this, because I understand that it was the will of the Father based on the sins of our forefathers. But this is what the Bible says. The Most High have an issue that they parted the land, that they did beyond what they were supposed to do against God's people. The Most High have a problem with these satanic nations. And all the nations, they're not going to come to the Most High. I'm talking about the Gentiles. There's only a few Gentiles in this earth that's going to actually come back to the Father. Only a few. And those can be accepted as brethren. But the majority of the Gentiles are going to get wiped out, because they see all the evil in the earth and they still can't come together. I look at those brothers that were in Saudi Arabia that's running around out of their mind, shooting guns in the air as propaganda, looking like total beasts and animals in front of the cameras, shooting and killing up their own people, not even understanding that they're next on the list. And see, this is, let me tell you, the Western world look at this and laugh, like, look at these animals. We can pay these animals anything, because these people have lost hope within themselves. We will even pay them to destroy their own region. And there's always a few within every nation that you can find like that, even within our people. It was the government that went to our brothers in the 60s and the 70s, the Bloods and the Crips, and created that for internal warfare and destruction. It was the CIA and federal government. And now our people still take it on. You can always find rogue elements within our people to prey on, and they use their institutions. Their so-called mental institutions, their so-called jail institutions, their correctional institutions to recruit the particulars who they use for these particular evils and these terrorist activities amongst their own people. There's going to be a judgment for them too. Our people, amongst our people, that just live to destroy internally. And then you have the Gentiles who don't even understand that their God is not helping them. Their God is not helping them. And they're joining forces with Satan, with the EU, with the UN, when they should be understanding it's time to raise God's people and protect God's people in this time. That's where their reward is going to come from. Not Gentiles sitting in the churches raising their hand talking about Jesus and I'm saved through the blood and all that. No, you're going to have to do something. Finish reading.
Verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people.
It says they have cast lots for my people, which means they have used us and they have made money off of us. Okay, don't think that slavery is over, okay? We used to have slave tickets or a slave bond or proof or a license of slavery. Now, it's your birth certificate. You're still human stock. And when you go to work, you have to go to human resources. So if you are a human resource, that means you are a slave. Like gas is a resource, electric is a resource, water, all those things, resources. You are human commodity. That's a slave. So don't think that you're still not being sold on the open market. You are under bonds, regular stock bonds that they've sold to the Asians. China have already bought American collateral. That's why they want to put a noose on how many Americans are traveling abroad, because they have a vested interest in you working to build their construct. Eventually their construct will be in these so-called internment camps, which will be multi-million-dollar, elaborate, nice-looking jails in which you can work for free and work off your debt. That's coming too. Read.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
It says they have given a boy for an harlot, which means now they've given a young man and doing child trafficking, taking little boys and training them into homosexuals, living a homosexual lifestyle, training them to operate like this. And that's why you have a bunch of these so-called good-to-do rich people going into Africa and different parts, adopting these children. Read.
And sold a girl for wine.
And it says they sold a girl for wine. That happened during the time when they were selling our people for musket guns and wine. Okay, read.
That they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
And the Bible is asking, what do you have to do with me, Tyre and Zidon? You people of Tyre and Zidon, how can you claim to be my people? That's what the Most High is asking now. You think a judgment is not coming to Tyre and Zidon? Go ahead.
And all the coast of Palestine.
It says in all the coast of Palestine. Read.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
And because they did this against God's people, the Most High will soon turn their destruction on their own head. And that's the reason we're not afraid of what they can do. We're not upset with what they're doing, because Galatians 6 and 7 tell you reap what you sow. It's coming around. Okay, so we're not going to sweat what they do because it's coming back on them. But we have to warn our people because our people are asleep. Okay, of course, in this hell, we have to look for some level of refuge and some type of peace and enjoyment in this hell we're in. We understand that sometimes we like to go out to a play, a movie, have some type of entertainment, go see a sport, or whatever the case is. But we can't be ignorant of the times and be so unbalanced that we think more about leisure than the time we're in. Right now, you have tyrants, which is the Western world, going throughout the whole earth, destroying and killing people. That's what's going on. And so even though we would like to enjoy ourselves and have a regular life, the reality is we were born in a war zone. Tyre and Zidon today are the borders of Israel. They are the borders of Israel. And see, and that's why, let me tell you, you'll never hear me or brothers that are affiliated with us speaking down on other people and trying to come against other people and saying, nah. And the reason why is it's too late in the game for that. I don't care about being more right than another person. It's not even about that, who got the most truth. All that's a bunch of garbage. It's about understanding the time we're in and coming back together. Because let me tell you, with all our knowledge together, we all still see through a glass dimly. And when Christ comes, he's going to fill in the rest. I want to say this to brothers and sisters. It's about the truth. Finish reading.
Verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
It says, they have taken all of our gold and silver. Let me tell you, they have switched gold and silver for toys and for things. All of us have an excess of things we don't even need, while they have taken all the resources that mean anything. So the thing that means something to us is really nothing to them. Let me tell you, they have relegated us to believing that if we have a big TV, a house, and a car, you are okay. That's ridiculous. Because what good is the car when you don't have enough money to put gas in the tank? What good is a TV if they cut off your electric? And what good is your house if it's foreclosed on? So they relegated us to think that what we have, these little things that we might want, is actually living, and all those things they can take away from us. But they can't take our spirit. That's what they can't take. They can't take our spirit, and that's what we must build up. We must build up ourselves for the kingdom to come, because they're taking everything away now. They're taking the house away. You can't afford the car no more. You can't afford the food no more. And you have so many people, when it's time to make some moves or do certain things, they tell, well, what about my car? Well, what about my house and all the money I put in my house? Let me tell you, 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter says that they're going to put you out of your house. And then we shall know who belongs to the Most High. At that point, we're going to know who's really down with the Most High. Some people are going to choose the mark of the beast, which is a chip, to keep their house. They're going to choose the mark of the beast. They're going to get their children chipped so that they can keep the lifestyle that's not theirs anyway. So, brothers and sisters, it's time to become spiritually free. And see, when you're spiritually free, Satan and his cohorts don't have a stronghold on you. If he know that you're stripped to nothing, but you'll still stand strong in the spirit, and he can't take nothing from you, now you are a viable weapon that can be used against the New World Order. Now you are a valuable weapon, because now I stand with nothing and I have the Most High, and I'm still fighting. You can take your gold, you can take everything, you can take your house, take your car. I got the Most High, and I believe that those many mansions that Christ was speaking about, that when he come, he'll bring my house with him. I believe that. I believe in being a pilgrim and understanding that, okay, I might not have a place to stay tonight, but the Most High is going to provide something tomorrow, because he's my Father. He created the house. He created the earth. But our people have more faith in Satan than they do the Most High. They claim they have faith in the Most High, But they don't have faith because before they make any move or do anything, they have to first look into actually living or keeping the lifestyle they're used to. That's how they measure everything. Read it.
Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
They have sold our people to the Grecians. They have sold our people to the Edomites and the other nations. The Most High is breaking us free. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put this out there. Brothers and sisters, anyone that think it's time to come together with other people in your area and plan with other people in your area if need be, and think about operating global. Anyone that's thinking about getting refuge within America, you don't know what time it is, okay? You don't know what time it is, okay? But listen, you have some people that believe that Christ is going to deliver them from America. And if they believe that, I don't want to stunt that belief. I would say, go with it. If that's what you believe, hey, everything I'm seeing is that no man or beast will be left by the time Christ returns in that particular area, okay? And it's a lot of things that have to happen before Christ come back, including Babylon being broken into 3 parts with an earthquake, and we know that's coming through the Madrid fault line. A great flood that's going to happen, we know that's coming through a tsunami. Okay? All these things have to happen. And ultimately, the war with Iran. All these things must happen. Now, if the elite and the powers that be believe the Bible enough to outsource and take all their companies and go to another country and leave the country themselves. So they must believe the Bible more than those they taught not to believe in America. These guys must know something. It means that they have more belief in their God, Lucifer or Satan, than we do in our God. Okay? They're willing to globalize and take... And now, listen how diabolically genius these demons that are controlling America are, and controlling the world are. They will make companies offshore and globalize their companies with other countries, like they did with this new $529 billion that Barack Obama signed for a car company in Finland to build cars in Finland. So they must know something is coming to America because, and guess where the $529 billion is coming from? You'll never guess. It's coming from American tax dollars. How diabolically genius you must be to kill the people, destroy the people, bankrupt the people, and have them work on their last leg and take their taxes to build your companies outside of America, to eventually use these same resources from other countries to help destroy America. Diabolically genius. Read on.
That he might...
And now, let me tell you, brothers, man, I'm looking on the outside right now, but I'm examining the Occupy Wall Street and how they occupying this and occupying that. We sat there on those streets for years. For years. Out there on the street talking to the people, telling people exactly what's going to happen, what's going on, what the Most High said out here would happen. And everybody was just walking by. Why? Going to their jobs. Everything was looking good. No one was listening. And sometimes the Spirit of the Most High would have us bring out information that I know was for that time. And because it was coming, we can't say it's from us. It was coming out of us. And I would look at the videos back and say, man, I know that wasn't me. It'd be the Spirit of the Most High was talking to these people, and the people would just be walking by. And now they're occupying something now that they've been bankrupt, and it's too late to fight. It's too late to fight now. When it was time that you could stand up and join together to fight with this thing, Everyone was living fat on the hog. You were laying back, kicking back, like it says, like Jezreel. Eating and living fat. And thinking that, oh, no way that America can do this to their own people. No way the government will allow them. America is a jewel of the earth. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, if you've been around the world, you would know America is not the jewel of the earth. The Europeans have taken your money. They're in Switzerland now. They're in all different parts. They're in some of the best places with some of the best water while they're killing our people with vaccinations, fluoride, chemtrails. The doctors are in league. They're Masons. They know that the majority of the things they treat can be controlled through eating right and drinking right. But yet, this is their money. The doctors are complicit. The judges are complicit. You got the lawyers who are complicit. You have everyone. The dentists are complicit. All these Masons in high positions are feeding on the sacrifices of God. This is what's going on. Let's get back into the scriptures. Joel, go ahead.
Joel chapter 3, verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the nation, unto the Grecians.
And they have sold our people to the Grecians. Read.
That ye might remove them far from their border.
And they removed us far from our border. They removed us from our border. For years we had no idea who we were. We sung about Zion. We put it in our Negro spirituals. But yet, we couldn't fill in the blanks. We didn't understand who was doing this to us. Why God would allow this to happen to us. How happened this to us. And then, Satan did something. He did a phenomenon for our people to keep us further asleep. He had our black leaders compromised after the Civil Rights Movement, killing Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and killing JFK, and killing anybody who cared, to set up puppets who would usher in a payola to destroy our people abroad and keep us in darkness. Federalizing our schools and turning that into institutions that will transform us into being institutionalized to be ready to go to jail. You're used to institutionalize in your neighborhoods through your schools, and now you're conditioned not for society, but for jail. This is what they've done. They've sold us out. And then we went to a time in which they were giving us money. It seemed like money was flowing. Money couldn't run out. You had the drug game happening for a while where our brothers everybody was a drug dealer now. Then you had the prosperity movement, where now we had jobs through the civil rights movement and through quotas and affirmative action now. And everyone was living and feeling that America belonged to them. Now they're taking everything away. They're taking everything away now. So we have no recourse now but to come back to our God. Don't think America is going to go back to its heyday before the banks rob you. It will never happen. Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. That's what the Bible says, which means if it's fallen, it will degrade until it's no more. It will never get to its height when it was the industrial jewel of the earth in which all nations look to come to for enterprise. America is not that anymore. America is a prison. America is a prison. And the Most High is setting us free. The question is, do we want freedom? Do we want freedom? Read on.
Verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them.
The Bible says he will raise us out of the same nations wherein he sold us. That's including America. And see, they've kept their eye on America because the book of Genesis tells us in the 49th chapter that Judah shall be in the neck of their enemies. So they kept an eye on Judah. Now he raised us out of America. So he's fulfilling his promise of raising his people from the same place where they were captives. Read.
Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them.
Read.
And will return your recompense upon your own head.
And he's going to return it now, payback. The Bible says payback is coming to that country. Why? Each time our people had a chance to excel, the powers would meet again to put another foot on our necks. We had the stock market in the 20s and the 30s in the Midwest, one of the greatest stock markets. They burned the whole city down. The first black stock market was booming. They burned a whole city down. We were just trying to deal with self-empowerment. We became sharecroppers after being enslaved, after being so-called free. They tricked us and tricked us out of our land. The industrial age came in which the only people would know how to do the jobs are the children of slaves, because we were doing the jobs for free. What did the Jewish powers do? They opened the borders for Europeans and immigrants to come into the land and take the jobs we were qualified for, that we worked for. So it was systematic oppression keeping us down. And then they went into what you would call the guard sector or the police sector, putting money into guarding or beating us down, knowing that eventually we would rise up and fight against oppression. Every time we try to come up, you oppress and take us down. So they knew that eventually, if you put a lion in a cage and you keep antagonizing him and you keep picking with him and destroying him and taking him down, he's going to roar, he's going to come, he's going to fight. They understood this, and they had the cops in place for this very action. They had the police dogs in place for this very action. It's all systematic takedown and destruction. So the Most High seeing these things, and he said, you know what? I'm going to free my people. Okay? Barack Obama is not divinely inspired to lead God's people. Okay? There's no man on this earth that's set up to lead God's people. Okay? Christ, Yeshua, is our Savior. He's our leader. And the minute we understand this, we can come together in total humility with each other and work together. When we understand that we are not the leader. We're vessels. We have to stand shoulder to shoulder together and fight together. I don't want to go too far in this. Finish reading what you have in Amos, because a few things I wanted to bring out when it comes to China.
Joel chapter 3 verse 8. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah.
Read it again.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah.
So that's Bible prophecy. Just like the Most High says he would put these nations and armies in the valley of Jehoshaphat, I believe this is going to happen. Those same children, the Bible says that he's going to put their children back into the hands of Judah. So listen, they can have their stinking affirmative action, they can have their country, they can have all that. They can have their little stinking rights, the money that's not worth anything because it's nothing compared to the treasures Christ will bring. And the minute we understand this as a people, we become free. Okay? We take their bribes and compromise. And then we blame them for our oppression. We blame governments for our oppression after taking their bribes. Okay, well, if you don't want your welfare check, or if your child don't get vaccinated, then you don't get a welfare check. You're taking a bribe to give your child cancer, to give your child asthma. You can't get your check if you don't come down here and eugenics your children. Well, if you're not vaccinated, then the kid can't go to school. When that's a lie. They know it's against the law to force anyone. You sign your children, you're signing death. You're making an agreement with death, like the Bible says. And because we don't choose freedom and come together, we allow them to do this to us. Because we choose to be slaves as a people. And those who understand this have taken the payoff also. I'm talking about your rich leaders that are supposed to be leading our people. They took the payoff. I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars to the point where they're vested, that they can't come down like common men and operate with our people and say, listen, let's get out of here. This gig is up. Let's take the money we have and let's invest it in something tangible. Let's find out some lucrative land outside of this prison we call America. Let's get some seeds, let's get some animals, let's rear our own animals, because we did it in the past. Because the Most High is bringing judgment here. We were shepherds in the past, we have to become shepherds again. We had our own food before, we were our own lawyers, our own blacksmiths. It's time to do it again, and we need to do it without our outside influence. If anyone wants to do it with us, then they do it under orders. Okay? And no more compromising. This is the mindset we must be in. Okay? We're not compromising. Okay? If we come, let me tell you, and even if we come together and do something small together, at least we have that little small thing together, and the Most High will flourish it. It don't have to be something big and immaculate. Where two or more are gathered, Christ is in the midst. I don't care if it's two people. But we need to learn to do things together and work together. Finish reading.
Verse 8. And I will sell your daughters and your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah.
And that's the future for the Gentile idolaters and their children. Okay? You will be sold to the children of Judah. That's the Bible. Why? Because Galatians 6 and 7 says you reap what you sow. That's the Bible. So, of course, the Illuminists and the European Idumeans over there don't want this to happen. Of course. Because what did that mean for them? Let me tell you, the Most High going to have Israel going through these rocks, going through these little caves they have, and dragging their little raggedy behinds out of these caves. Okay? They're not going to escape. Neither will their children escape. And we being straight with you. This is the will of the Most High. They think they can just eugenics the world, destroy the people, kill the earth, spray all types of poisons over our food, have us eat poisons and drink poison. They think that the Most High is not looking down on their evil. Going into these third world countries that they made third world countries with their little white jackets on. And let me tell you, a syringe is more lethal than a gun any day. Why? Because if you see a gun, you duck it. They're going into these countries with these syringes, with their white jackets on, with great generational poisons. You think the Most High don't see this? The Most High going to bring the wrath down on the Western world. He's going to bring the wrath down on these powers, these politicians who have sold their soul to the devil. And that includes Barack Obama. Read.
And they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Most High have spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
The Bible told us to proclaim this to the Gentiles. These are all nations outside of the children of Israel. Read.
Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men.
Prepare war. Wake up all the mighty men. And see, and that's the reason, I'm going to tell you, they have feminized men all over the earth. They put B4A and BPA in the linings of your water cans and your cans. It's the white seal they have inside your cans and in your water to feminize, to make men feminine, to make you desire femininity, to make a man want to desire a man. And then the hormones jack women up, give women breast cancer and make them butch and make them feel like getting haircuts and feel like they want to be men. This is the satanic science on the highest level. It's fallen angel technology that they're using with their chemistry, with their sorcery and science. But the Most High is like, let's gird up now. He's saying, gird up. Let's prepare for war. Read.
Wake up the mighty men. let all the men of war draw near.
Let all the men of war draw near. That's the time we're in, brothers and sisters. Now, like I said before, it's okay to want some enjoyment in life. I understand a movie might come out or whatever the case is, or your favorite team is playing or whatever. Listen, we still got to be aware of the time we're in, regardless of you wanting certain pleasures in this earth. Read.
And let them come up. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears.
So the Most High is telling the nations to prepare your weaponry. Read.
Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about.
So the Most High have made a pretext where all the nations can come together for war. And that is what we see in the Middle East right now. The Bible tells us in 2nd Ezra, strategically, each land that they would hit one after the other. Strategically, in exact order. Syria is coming next. Soon they're going to come against Syria. And you know what? And when they go against Iran, look out. And China is coming into the mix. The Valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be in the total, it's going to be ramped up to the highest tilt. And it's going to be the delivering of our people. Yes, we're going to go through some trouble, but we can praise the Most High that this earth will be broken to a point where it could never come back to its former glory. And a lot of us will understand that we must hope for a greater glory to come. A lot of us are going to come to the Most High. We're going to pray and see the presence of the Most High. Right now we're being attacked by spirits. Let me tell you, this thing is not just physical. Satan is also, with his illuminous powers and his symbols, are letting loose spirits on us personally that are making us depressed, coming against us to mess with our minds. Radio waves through the harp system that sends spirits to mess with our people. This thing is not a physical warfare, it's spiritual also. So we must come together, fast together, pray together, to fight off some of these spirits that are oppressing us so that we can see straight. That's another thing we have to start thinking about. And these are ways that we can war without money, without finances. And then the Most High is going to make a way. He'll make a way. He'll make a way financially. He'll make a way in other areas. But we have to get into the fight. Read.
Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. When
it says the harvest is ripe, it's talking about the harvest of God's people. It's ripe. We're getting prepared for a delivery. It's just as if a baby was delivered. Of course, there's certain pains that happen all the way up to its birth. But we can't ignore the pains. We must go through the pains. But at the end, something beautiful is delivered. It's the same thing. Right now, it's ripe for the Most High to deliver his people. Read.
Verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
The harvest is ripe. Read.
Come, get you down, for the press is full.
The press is full. That's talking about being prepared for the wine press to destroy the powers of Edom, like it reads in Isaiah the 63rd chapter. They're the nation or the people that will be beat. They will be beat down and destroyed in the wine fat. And I'm talking about those that are operating in the spirit of Edom, the Edomite powers in Europe. Now the Edomites who are with Christ and that are the Gentiles who have chose truth like Cornelius, this does not include them. But the majority of the Edomites will be trodden underfoot, according to the Bible. In the wine press, Isaiah 63, if you want to read it yourself. Read.
The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
For their wickedness is great. I mean, look how diabolical this is. You know what? This is how you know who's doing this to the world. Where's the European coup that's happening over in Europe that's overthrowing Europe? Why are these coups only happening in Mexico and in parts of Africa and in parts of the Middle East? Where's the revolution in Europe? Okay, where's the coups where's the third world starving babies in Europe? That lets you know who's behind the destruction and the plot against God's people throughout the four corners of the earth. They have oppressed our people in the Filipinos, the Cambodians. They oppressed us there. Every place they oppress us and bring their vaccination program in their churches. Now the Most High say the harvest is ripe. And see, it's imperative that our people in America wake up. All over the earth is important, but America, our people in America must wake up, because Judah, when Judah wake up, he stirs everybody. Everyone gets stirred up. Okay? I'm not talking about a few hippies hanging out at Occupy Wall Street. Okay? I'm talking about brothers standing up for truth, standing up with this word, bringing forth this word. It's time. Read.
Verse 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Most High is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Most High also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Most High will be the hope of his people.
And who will be the hope?
But the Most High will be the hope of his people.
Ben-Ami shall be the hope of his people.
But the Most High will be the hope of his people.
Who?
But the Most High will be the hope of his people.
There is no hope in anyone else, not Barack Obama or any other man. The hope, the Most High have taken hope out of this earth so that we can only depend on him. And when we're saved, you'll know that he saved us. Just like when we came out of Egypt. We had the Red Sea on one side, water on one side, and we had Pharaoh and his army bearing down on us on the other side. And the Most High revealed himself. He protected us. And the Most High is going to make his power visible. When it says that the sun and moon shall not give their light, and the constellations shall not give their light, when Christ is on his way to this earth, there will be total darkness in this earth, and the luminaries will turn into their angelic form. The only light will be Christ himself. That's what's coming. You will see total darkness, and that's going to be at the apex of the wars that's going on in the Middle East. Those wars will never end. They will never end. There will not be a time of peace, ever. Christ is our peace. He's coming with our peace. There will never be, I don't know what this garbage they're talking about in the Christian church, talking about it's going to be a 3-year peace. You think peace between Palestine and Israel is peace? Palestine, what type of peace is that when the whole Middle East is up in an uproar? And they have everyone looking at what's going on with the Palestinians, who are Moab anyway, who shouldn't have been in the land anyway, and the converts, the Khazars that came in there. They have you looking into false prophecies. There will never be any peace in this earth, ever. And the only place everyone is looking to America as a refuge to save America, when America cannot save herself. Babylon the Great is fallen, it's fallen. Okay? It was time to start thinking of alternative means and alternative living outside that country when you seen that the government flew planes into a building, killed 3,000 people in front of the world, while George Bush was reading a book upside down to kindergarten children. Wake up. Now there's other things I wanted to go into. Let's go into the scriptures where it says the Most High will save us. And I wanted to go into where the Bible says he's going to put hook in his jars in Ezekiel and pull Asia back into the war. So I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And I'm going to say this, brothers and sisters. Muammar Gaddafi stopped his nuclear planning and his arms planning in agreement with the Western world. He put down his arms. I mean, his son was educated in London. There was an agreement with the Western world, and out of nowhere, the Western world double-crossed him and took his country and killed him and his children. So what you think going to happen? What you think they're planning against you? You think they care about you? Everyone they are in league with, they double-cross and destroy. Where's our 40 acres and a mule? Where's the Indians' land? Over 200 peace treaties signed, every last one broken. We got to make an agreement with the Most High again. We got to come back to the Most High. That's our agreement. Because these guys are out for blood. Every person that died under their power, they use as a sacrifice to empower themselves. That's how they look at you. You are sacrifices to their God. Chapter and verse.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 7.
Read.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
No longer will it be said that we're the people that came out of the land of Egypt. Read.
Verse 8. But the Most High liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country.
Out of the north country. We will be led out of the north country. We're being led out of the north country. But brothers and sisters, I'm going to say it again. It's not how you think it is. It's not you waiting for some ships, and it's not someone coming to you saying, okay, we're going to let you free and take you back to America. It don't work that way. The judgment that's coming to America and us being delivered from America are two separate things. The delivery is like it says in Joel, when he shall begin to bring again the captivity of his people. It's a gradual process, and it's an awakening. That's our initial delivery. That's the miracle. The powers that be have put everything in place that if you know you Israel now, that's a miracle in itself. So that's what it says when he shall begin to deliver his people. It's a gradual process. If you're waiting for someone to come like Moses with a staff into America and say, follow me home, it's not going to happen. If you're waiting for some ships to pick you up from America, it's not going to happen. Now, I know this for sure. I know that some will escape in those border countries when the hell break loose and get to different parts of South America, and maybe they'll make it for a time when the ships of Tarshish start coming over. Okay? But everything I've read according to, matter of fact, I need you to get a few scriptures on the ships of Tarshish so we can prove that the ships of Tarshish, because I said I was going to go into that this week. Yes. To show that the ships of Tarshish come when Christ returns. Some people believe that the ships of Tarshish will happen before Christ returns, and it's the wrong doctrine. Nothing is going to pick you up from America. Okay? If something come to pick you up, believe me, it's going to have the American emblem on it or the NATO emblem on it with FEMA on the side of it, or Homeland Security. Now, let me show you this. I need you to get Isaiah 7. Let's get one moment here. Ezekiel 27. Get that? Get Isaiah 60. Isaiah 23 and 14. You got it? Read it.
Isaiah chapter 60. Start at the first verse.
Yes.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1.
Read.
Arise, shine, for the light is come.
Who's the light? That's Yeshua. That's Christ. Read.
And the glory of the Most High is risen upon them. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon them, and his glory shall be seen upon them. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about.
And that proves that Gentiles are going to come to the truth too, under Christ. So Gentiles are excluded, just like Paul. They're not excluded. Just like Paul said, to the Jews first, then the Gentiles. Okay, so we don't exclude anyone. It's the Gentiles excluding us, saying that it's about the Gentiles and the Israelites are done away with. We don't ascribe to that. We don't ascribe to either part. We don't ascribe to the Israelite doctrine that are teaching out there that's saying that it's not about the Gentiles and they can't be saved. That's a lie. And it's not about the Gentile doctrine saying that it's about them and Israel is done away with. That's a lie. Read.
Verse 4. Lift up thine eyes round about and see.
Go ahead.
All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fare, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee, and the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
The forces of the Gentiles talked about the finances, the gold, the power, all the gold. Now they think they're getting away with all the gold they stole. Okay, Chavez just looked to get his gold from London. He had a stockpile of gold that was being protected by the Bank of London, and he went to cash in. They told him it's gone. It don't exist. They stole all the gold from Venezuela. Now this happened in the midst of them killing Gaddafi. You didn't even hear about it, but it's okay. They're not going to get away. They're going to have to bring all that gold right back, because it belongs to us anyway. They've robbed Solomon's temple. They've robbed the gold that our people had all through the earth. And they're looking to take the gold from Africa. Eventually, it's coming all back, according to the Bible. Read.
Verse 6. The multitude of camels shall cover thee.
Another thing. There was a stockpile of gold under the Twin Towers. No one even asked what happened to that gold. It's gone. You know who have it? The Jewish powers that are giving you wolf tickets or giving you monopoly money to spend right now, until they pull it out of the system and replace it with microchips. They got your money. And no one is even asking, and that's your politicians. No one is saying, well, where's the gold that was under the Trade Center? Where's the gold that was in Fort Knox? They took all the gold and replaced it with nothing. And you wonder why you're open to be taken. If you keep on accepting people destroying you to the point that you don't fight for nothing, eventually they're going to say, well, okay, I'm going to do this to you then. And I'm going to take that too. Because why? They understand that people have become complacent and have relegated themselves to what they call life, and it's not life at all. You've accepted destruction and death. And the Bible tells you that we have made an agreement with death and stay thereon. We agree with dying, and then we get the coward spirit and the spirit of total cowardness and destitution. We're total destitute, and we'll come up with say, well, if it's our time to go, it's our time to go. You know, it got to happen sometime. That's what we've been relegated to the point where we will accept death and say, well, okay, well, you know, who cares? I'm just going to live like I am until I die. No fight. We wasn't always like this. No fight at all. Read.
Verse 6. The multitude of camels shall cover thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. All they from Sheba shall come, and they shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Most High. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee, and they shall come up with acceptance of mine altar. And I will give the glory of my, and I will glorify the house of my glory.
This is when Christ returns. Read.
Verse 8. Who are these that fly as a cloud?
Who is these that fly as a cloud? Read.
And as the doves to their windows.
As the doves to their windows. So it's who are these that's flying like doves to their windows? Like you see a dove that flies down and go into a window. swiftly. Read.
Verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me,
It says, the isles shall wait for me. Read.
and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far.
So when Christ returns, he's going to send out the ships of Tarshish from the isles of the sea. What sea? The Mediterranean Sea. That's where all the European ships and all the Middle Eastern ships are. So all these ships that are used for caravans and for holidays and vacations and all that, they're going to be sending these boats over to pick up people. Read.
To bring thy sons from far.
To bring thy sons from far. So Christ is going to send the ships out for those that are left, the remnant that's left after the fallout. Okay, so it's not going to be a thing where the government is going to come together and say, you know what, let's let the children of Israel free to go back home. What place is there for you to go? It's too many people. The only option they have in their mind is to kill our people. That's what Jacob's trouble is. Okay, they're not looking to deliver us. They're not looking to give us land. Okay, they're already telling you that the earth is overpopulated. That's a way of saying the undesirables must die. And we know who the undesirables are. Read.
Their silver and their gold with them.
And I want to put that out. That's another lie. The earth is not, the Most High is perfect in everything. What's this joke that the earth is populated when you can... Listen, I've been driving, even within the United States, going from coast to coast, and I see all the grassland between states that no one is living in. That's a bunch of garbage. There's plains of land all over the place that you drive for miles and no one is living there, and they got you stacked up like roaches in a city and telling you that the earth is overpopulated. No, that's just an excuse so they can bring forth the eugenics program to destroy our people through Jacob's trouble. That's what this is. This is Jacob's trouble. Because if you feel that the earth is overpopulated, then why don't you volunteer your services first? Okay, if you feel that, okay, well, do something with yourself then. Why you have to look at another group and say, well, we need to downsize them? Read.
Verse 9.
Go ahead.
Surely the isles shall wait for me.
Go ahead.
The ships of Tarshish first.
The ships of Tarshish first. Read.
To bring thy sons from far. Their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Most High thy power.
Go ahead.
And to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
Go ahead.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
The sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. So the Gentiles are going to help build what they destroyed. That's the Bible. Read. So there will be employment. Read.
And their kings shall minister unto thee.
So all the hierarchies that's supposed to be kings and diplomats, they're going to minister, they're going to service the children of Israel. That's the Bible. Read.
For in my wrath I smote them.
Because the Most High in his wrath, he smote us. He came against us. He allowed you to rule over us. Read.
But in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
But he still have mercy on us. He haven't done away with us. Right? Okay, right now his child or his children are in peril, but we're not done away with. So now he's going to show mercy. As much wrath that he put on us, he's going to show us that much mercy when Yeshua returns. Read.
Verse 11. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, and they shall not be shut day nor night. When
Christ delivered Jerusalem back to us, the gates shall be open. There will be no border control. There will be no guys sitting there with some guns asking, where's your passport? Okay? The gate's going to be open day and night. For what?
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
The forces of the Gentiles is the jewelry, the money, the gold. You read about the golden city. You read about all these things, but they don't talk about what resources that the Gentiles are going to bring us so that they can build these cities. This is the Bible right here. Day and night, the Gentiles are going to be bringing for mercy. They're going to be saying, listen, I got an Israelite right here. You know, don't do anything to me. Here's an Israelite child. I took care of it. They're going to be bringing money, gold, just to have mercy. Just for mercy. Read.
And that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
The nation that decide not to do this. You may have the Gentiles to say that, listen, I don't want to minister to your people. I could care less about your people. Okay. Read it again.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Okay, you don't want to serve, you die. Now that's the love of Jesus right there. That's the love of Yeshua. Okay. You mean to tell me you can serve America, you can serve Satan, you can serve this world, but you can't serve the Son of the living God? You can't serve righteous people? Some would say that's racist. Read.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
The Bible says those nations shall be utterly wasted. That's the Bible. Now Christians can't relate to this. They can't fathom this type of spirit because they wasn't taught about this God. A God that favors his people. A God that went against the Egyptians the way he will soon go against the EU, Europe, and America. Oh yeah. They have enslaved God's people, and judgment is coming on their own head. Those same people who you've vaccinated, same people who you've given poisons to, that you kill and that you promote as destitute, less than people, the Most High love those people. Personally, he have a vested interest in them through their blood, which is through his son, which is the blood of Abraham. He have an oath with these children. And it's time for these nations who do understand, that have it in their heart, to have mercy on these children of Israel, to help them in their time of trouble, because you're going to wish you did it. You're going to wish you did. These people will have power from on high. Don't think these people who are the poor, the meek, who Christ came for, will not have power in this earth. The Most High will raise his children again. Read.
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee.
It says, the glory of Lebanon shall come unto the children of Israel. Read.
The fir tree, the pine tree, the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
Read that again.
The sons also of them that afflicted, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
So the same people who've afflicted us are going to come bending to us. And you know what? Because we're merciful and loving people, we're not going to do to them what they did to us. We're not that way. We're going to tell them, listen, stand up, brother, stand up, sister. Okay, listen, our captivity is done. My captivity is finished. We're here to bring peace on earth. We're here to right this earth. Okay, so there's no chivalry in seeing someone else destitute and destroyed. Okay, there's no, listen, we don't want that. Okay, we want our kingdom. We want the promises of Abraham. The judgment that's coming on these nations is coming from God. So we're not going to be doing to them what they did to us. Okay, we're not going to take a rope and tie a leg to one of their legs into another and have two horses pull them apart. We're not going to have their women, babies being ripped out of their stomachs and all that, the things they did to us. We're not going to do that, because why? Vengeance is the Lord's. We're not that way. We're not how they try to portray us through the media. And they know this. But we are reactionary. So what you see in the media is us reacting to the destruction, to the oppression. Read.
Verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
Go ahead.
And all they that despise thee shall bow down themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Most High.
They shall call us the city of the Most High. Go ahead.
The Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated.
Even though we've been forsaken and hated all over this earth. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me at all. I've seen some pictures of Gaddafi. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that brother is from Ephraim or from Manasseh or one of those tribes that went back into those areas. during our fall of Babylon. And he cared so much about Africa. He cared so much about our people. He was in league with Chebaz, which is Asher. It wouldn't surprise me at all, man. Anytime we as a people try to do something, and let me tell you, this guy it was ridiculous. 15 cents a gallon for for oil. The best pure oil that can easily be refined on earth. Okay? Free housing for every Libyan, no homeless. Every time we try to do right. And not only that, as soon as they went into Libya, these so-called rebels, which were CIA agents, they were not Libyans. They were different. They were Saudis. They were from Egypt. They were paid mercenaries to go in to be a front so that they can show Americans TV that it's these wild, crazy animals. But when the cameras are turned off, it was the NATO troops really doing the attacks and doing the infrastructure and the power and ingenuity to take down Gaddafi. It was the NATO troops. They were just showing you some guys screaming and shooting guns in the air. That was a prop. Every time we try to do something for ourselves, they sabotage. And that's what they try to do in Africa, and they're using Barack Obama to do it. And I'm going to tell you, we're looking at the judgment here. Finish reading.
Verse 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated.
Even though we've been forsaken and hated as a people.
So that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I am the Most High, thy Savior, and thy Redeemer.
We're going to know at that time it was Ahijah that saved us out of the hand of our oppressors. We're going to know at that time. Why? Because we're in a place now where we think there's no hope. We don't know where help is coming from. But when this happens, you're going to know that it was our God, the same God who delivered us from Egypt. You're going to find out, brothers and sisters, he was with us the whole time. Even while we were in our ignorance. Even while we were in these churches. Listen, he was with us the whole time. He called us out of the Gentile mindset, out of the religions, out of the worshiping of pagan days. Who you think woke you up? It was the Most High. Because he's preparing us for a greater worship. Read.
Verse 17. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. And I will also make thy officers peace, and thy exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land.
Read it again.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land.
And this is how we know that the people in Israel are not the true Jews. When the true Israelites are set up, there'll be no more violence. So there won't be no terrorist activity and people saying that they're afraid of bombs going off and someone strapping a bomb to them on the Gaza Strip and in Tel Aviv. No, there'll be no more violence. There will be no need for violence. Okay? We're going to go out throughout the four corners of the earth for 7 years, rounding up the nations and their weapons, and they're going to turn their weapons into shovels, and they're going to use it to grow some crops. That's what their weapons are going to be used for. That's what Isaiah the 2nd chapter tells us. Okay? Their weapons will be used to plant. Now, we're going to have a green country. You want to talk about rolling out a green program? This is the greenest program you've ever seen. All your weapons will be used to plant. And don't try to shoot. Don't listen. Your weapons will do nothing, because it tells us in 1 Corinthians 15, and this is what the race is for. These satanic Luciferians know this. They know that there's a level of immortality. But Satan is promising them this. But Christ is going to bring immortality back with him, and those that are here will be changed into immortality. So your little terrestrial weapons are not going to work against God's people. Okay? It's not going to work. Okay? We will not be bound by these elements. This is a curse. And they know this. Finish reading.
Verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land.
Go ahead.
Wasting nor destruction within thy borders.
No more wasting or destruction within our homeland. Go ahead.
But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Most High shall be unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light.
Now you think the sun is something. Yeshua will be our light. You're going to find out that the sun and moon are luminaries. They're angelic forces. So there will be no greater light than when Christ returns. He will be the light of the universe, because he is the light. Read.
But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Thy son
And
shall...
that proves that the Most High in Christ is separate. Right there, even in the Old Testament. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Most High shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous.
Read it again.
Thy people also shall be all righteous.
There will not be a such thing as an unrighteous Israelite. There will be no such thing as an unrighteous Israelite when Christ returns. Read.
They shall inherit the land forever.
How long?
Forever.
That's our land. Okay? And a lot of these wars is really getting things ready. Okay? They fight against each other, and none of them is going to have it when it's done. Read.
The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. The Lord will hasten it in his time.
So yes, we will have children in the kingdom when Christ returns. Okay? Now, there's other things I wanted to go into, but I wanted to bring out the fact that there is hope and that we got to come together.